In 1838, a man named John Sutter left behind Switzerland, his homeland, his wife, and a pack of creditors who harassed him day and night. He then undertook an endless march across the United States. He never thought that this long adventure would take him to one of the most insane periods of that new world that he longed for. On the hard road, plagued by dangers, among them, the attack of the Indians, he found a group of missionaries, and near the current Sacramento, then Mexican territory of Alta California, he began his utopia. He founded New Helvetia, New Switzerland, a small agricultural region with shops and workshops that, although slowly, prospered. Not long afterward, the American settlers broke away from the Mexican government, and the United States Army occupied California. For a decade, all was peace and work in New Helvetia. Around this time, Sutter hired a younger man, James Marshall, to build a sawmill near the river. But one morning, just born in the year 1849, while the new operator was digging the bed of a canal destined to carry water to the mill, a strange brightness assailed his eyes. He had found gold. Like wildfire, the news of the appearance of gold captured the attention of the entire United States. In 1849, 90,000 adventurers arrived in California. The master of New Helvetia understood that the discovery could destroy his plan to make that new homeland a huge barn. Greed and quick money, against wealth achieved with time and incessant work. In a few weeks, the employees and workers of New Jersey were paying for their purchases with gold nuggets. Not long after, Samuel Brannan, a newspaper editor and store owner from San Francisco, wanted to check out the phenomenon live. He traveled to the region, and it was not long before he saw the business and multiplied it in his mind. He opened a store to sell everything necessary for prospectors. Suitable clothing, pickaxes, shovels, sieves to look for nuggets in the sand of the riverbed, food, drink, etc. A group of gambusinos, sieve in hand, shake the sand with the illusion of finding gold. Many left empty-handed after setting foot on the reef. Brennan returned to San Francisco. He dressed up like a gentleman, and walked around town with a jar full of gold nuggets. The news crossed the entire territory, reached the East Coast, and James Knox Polk, 11th President of the United States, confirmed it. The gold rush started, and it blew up the thermometers. San Francisco underwent a strange metamorphosis. At first it was almost deserted, because his men rushed towards the fields where the gold awaited them. But thousands populated it 2 years later in 1850, when 25,000 searchers settled there, most of them in huts and tents, because they multiplied more than 30 times. The 800 inhabitants who lived in relative calm, before the brightness of the golden calf blinded them. Many invested fortunes thinking of recovering them, and ended up in the red due to the meager harvest. Others directly left empty-handed from the ore. Some newspaper publishers announced a red alert. One of them approached the apocalypse. Historically, the California gold rush was one of the greatest social phenomena in the United States at that time. San Francisco, almost a village when the first nuggets appeared, became a great city. Roads, schools, churches, founding of neighboring towns, railway lines, steamboats. James Marshall was the first to find a nugget. His employer, Sutter, demanded silence. It was impossible to silence the discovery. But overseas ship captains went bankrupt, their crews abandoned their post, to race to the gold. The docks were transformed into jungles of masts, like fossils of prosperous times, and also into warehouses, shops, taverns, hotels. In 1849, the golden year, more than 90,000 adventurers arrived in California. Half foreigners. French, German, English, Italian, Spanish, Filipino, African, Chinese. Machines were created to search for gold on a large scale. Rivers were diverted into artificial channels. Hydraulic mining was inaugurated. High-pressure water currents launched towards the gold deposits. Samuel Brannan did not look for gold, but he became the richest man in California, selling supplies to nugget prospectors. The human costs were chilling. The indigenous population fell from 150,000 to 30,000 souls, just in 25 years. Hunger, diseases, and genocidal attacks. Half a century after the gold rush in California, a similar one broke out in Alaska. Towards the frozen territory, 20,000 people ventured looking to become millionaires.